Welcome back to Past Unboxed, the podcast where history becomes a story, and every story becomes a way to learn English naturally. In every episode, we guide you through a true tale from the past using clear and simple English, so you can improve your listening and vocabulary without stress. You can enjoy these stories while walking, driving, or relaxing. And remember, this is more than a podcast. It's your journey through time. If you enjoy this project, don't forget to subscribe, share it with your friends, and follow us on Spotify, Castbox, or wherever you get your podcasts. And if you want us to explore a story that fascinates you, leave a comment below. Who knows? Maybe your idea will become our next episode. Now, let us begin. France, 1669. A cold wind blows through the gray walls of the fortress of Pignerol, hidden deep in the southeast of the kingdom. Inside one of its darkest cells, a man sits in silence. His name is not spoken, his story is not written, and his face is hidden behind a mask. Not a cloth, not a disguise, but, as some say, a mask made of iron. This is the beginning of one of the greatest mysteries in European history, the story of the man in the iron mask. He would live more than 3 decades in prison, always guarded, always silent, and always masked. No one knows exactly who he was. No trial, no sentence, no explanation, but many have tried to uncover the truth. Let's take the journey together. Part 1. The Prisoner Appears. Our story truly begins in the reign of King Louis XIV, the Sun King of France. He was powerful, proud, and determined to rule every corner of his nation with total control. In the 1660s, reports began to spread of a prisoner who was moved between high-security prisons. From Pignerol to exiles, from Sainte Marguerite to the famous Bastille in Paris. What was strange was not just the secrecy, but the condition of his imprisonment. He was always alone, never spoken to. The guards were ordered to kill him if he tried to speak of his past, and his face was always covered. His jailer, Benign de Saint-Mars, stayed with him for over 30 years, transferring with him from one prison to another. That in itself was rare. Jailers did not follow prisoners. But in this case, Saint-Mars did every time. And with each transfer, the prisoner became more invisible. Letters were signed only with initials. His name never appeared in full in any record. Part 2. Who was he? Over the centuries, historians, writers, and philosophers have proposed many ideas. Theory 1. He was a political agent who knew a terrible royal secret. Some say he was a secretary or messenger who saw something that could destroy the king. A secret deal, a betrayal, or even a scandal involving the royal family. Theory 2. He was a nobleman punished for speaking against the king. Louis XIV was known to silence his enemies. One theory says the prisoner was Count Ercole Antonio Mattioli, an Italian who betrayed a secret treaty. But this man's death is officially recorded elsewhere. Theory 3. He was the king's twin. Perhaps the most famous theory, and the one used by Alexander Dumas in his novel, is that the prisoner was the identical twin of King Louis XIV. If true, this would be the ultimate threat to the monarchy. 2 men, same blood, same right to the throne. To protect the crown, one had to disappear. A twin hidden away, a face that could not be seen. Was the iron mask to protect him, or to protect the king? Part 3. The mask itself. Let's pause to consider the mask. Iron is heavy, cold, and dangerous. It could injure the skin and crush the spirit. Some say the mask was velvet-lined, designed to be worn long-term. Others believe the mask was only used during transfers or public viewings, never daily. But more important than the material was the symbol. A masked man, nameless, faceless, powerless. It was not just about silence. It was about erasing identity. And yet, he lived. He ate well. He read books. He wrote letters, though they were censored. He played guitar. He was not tortured or starved. In fact, His treatment was strangely respectful. This was not the fate of an ordinary criminal. Part 4. Witnesses and Records. Several people over the years claimed to see or hear about the masked man. One visitor to the Bastille said he saw a prisoner walk the halls with his face covered and guards bowing to him. Another claimed the man wore a black velvet mask, not iron, but always on. Some letters in the French Royal Archives mention a secret prisoner whose identity could never be revealed. In one, King Louis himself writes, "Let no one speak to him. Let no one ask his name. Let him be kept until death." In 1703, the prisoner died. He was buried under the name Marchioli, a false identity. His cell was destroyed, his belongings burned, and St. Mars retired in silence. Part 5. The Legacy. The story of the man in the iron mask captured the imagination of Europe. Voltaire, the philosopher, wrote about him. Alexander Dumas turned his story into legend. Movies, books, and TV shows have been made. But behind the myth is a real human being. Someone who lived for over 30 years without a name, a face, or freedom. What crime could require such punishment? What truth was so dangerous it had to be buried? Perhaps we'll never know. Or perhaps that's the point. Because some stories aren't meant to be solved. They're meant to be remembered. Thank you for joining us on this special extended episode of Past Unboxed. If you felt the weight of this mystery, and if you learned something new in English, then this story has done its job. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and share it with someone who loves history or learning. And don't forget, we're on Spotify, Castbox, and all major podcast platforms. Got a mystery from history you want us to explore? Leave your idea in the comments. Until next time, keep learning and keep listening.